333 RIPP Don P PhD. Yeah. I said RIP TV, tell a homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? RIPP, God bless the real. Only for the righteous, the rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation, figure it out. Transliterate the translation, do it yourself. It's the last days, life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle, everyday struggle. Fuck the pain, I'm on some HNIC shit. Hegelian 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit, RIP. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, re-repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off a 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. RIP TV, tell a homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday thoughty. It's all for the community, that's what P showed me. We lost without the unity, where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. RIPP, I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams, bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. RIPP, I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams, bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo.
Yo, what up, everybody? It is the return of the Dour Hour. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep doing this, but somebody wanted to have a crypto talk today, and it's been a while. And I figured, well, why not do it on YouTube? So, whenever they hit me, my homie Leanna hits me, we will have some crypto talk because the blockchain world keeps evolving and growing, everybody. And I hope everybody's getting involved. So, what up, what up, what up? You guys know I guess I would call it a crypto cowboy, because I'm on it. And some things have happened. Nice. I have not checked my account today to see if my stimulus hit, but if it did, it's time to grab some crypto, people. Turn that 1400 into something ill. So as I roll the fuck up, what's good, everybody? How y'all been? It's not like it's been a while because I'm on YouTube so consistently, but it's been a while for the Dour Hour. I have not done this in well over a month. So Lou Bang, what up, homie? 4-piece. What's good, man? I wouldn't say that I'm set. I can't retire off of crypto right now, but I will be able to in the future. Believe that. Believe that. You know, I kind of get ahead of the game a little bit. So I was able to take very little money and turn it into a lot, which is fucking awesome. So now it's all about continuing that one. My investment strategy in 2021 is to pinpoint emerging tech and blockchain usage and get behind those And you guys already know VeChain, Ontology, BitTorrent. These are the three I've been espousing. I think I'm going to start fucking with Cardano also because it's only around $1. And they are making some major upgrades into their tech and what their chain and what they're going to be able to do with it. Which, for me personally, all blockchain, this is the new internet. So I don't own any Doge. I never did, and I never will. I only invest in things that I understand. I know what the tech behind Bitcoin is, Ethereum, Chainlink, Ontology, VeChain, Tusk. You know, the things that I have, I understand what their purpose is. Yeah, no, Cardano is, that's another one, D-Berry. Get on it. It's less than $2, and the technology leaps that they're making are what intrigues me. So I'm looking at Cardano as last year's Chainlink. Chainlink went from 84 cents up to $38. So I'm looking at Cardano as the next one to take that same similar type of leap. And I only had 50 Chainlink tokens at the time, cost me less than $50, and now those same 50 chain links are worth somewhere between $1,600 and $2,000 on any given day. So that's the game. It's not about having tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or anything like that to throw into it. It's about taking what you can throw into it and turning that into something much bigger. And then you can sit on what you got, or you can flip that, because in order to make big moves, you got to have big capital. So you can build it up and build up your portfolio so that you can make some real big moves. Or you can just slow play it. And I've done both, and I am more of a fan of the slow play. Whenever you take your first big loss, whenever you're making moves, it'll change you. And I took a big hit, and I've exited that investment strategy a long time ago. Excuse me. There's always two. There's a vein in this blunt leaf that's right on the edge of it. This makes it not want to close. You blunt smokers know what pain I'm going through right now with this nonsense. So, what else is going on? Well, clearly, in my time off, I've been busy getting this 333 merchandise to exist and off the line. So, the Good Fight hoodies are a thing. I do custom colors options. You can throw me an idea and I'll see if I can make it happen for you. There are certain colors that are staples, like white and black, and black on white, and white on camo. These are things like guaranteed to be in the shop. I just had a bunch of shorts made, getting ready for summer, so shorts and t-shirt season. And the next thing I'm making, people, I gotta get some hats. I wear a hat every fucking day. I need to wear my own hats. So, I've been building lots of things. My crypto portfolio has allowed me to start the merch line and, like, you know, pay for it. And it also has afforded me the time necessary because I don't have to work doing other things. So I can dedicate some of my free time into creating new stuff, which I'm a creator, so there's always the need to create. Vita, what up, man? You know, when the Dour Hour pops up, it's always eventually, inevitably turns to crypto talk. So we're kind of doing a little crypto talk today, even though I don't want to really get into it yet, because I had a friend of mine reach out to me and said that she wanted to have a conversation so that she can get some knowledge, a knowledge base on how crypto works and blockchain technology and things of this nature and how to make money off of it. So whenever she lets me know that she has put her daughter to sleep for the afternoon and she's ready to have this talk, we're going to have this talk. Other than that, I'm just chilling right now, everybody. Just working on things, dude. Trying to stay busy. I hope everybody's staying busy. Now, YouTube has changed their algorithm once again. So, they don't push you that well. It's crazy, because I've had people tell me, like even Billy Lyons has told me, and he said that even it doesn't matter. YouTube does not even let him know whenever 333 TV is happening. Yeah, D. Barry, I gotta check it, but I'm in New York and they limit what. See, Lux, now you know. There's a reason that these are the only headphones that I have ever used and will ever use. Because whatever you got playing is exactly what you're going to hear. They don't add any color. It is clarity at its best, and they're only $100, people. Are you kidding me? So now, Lux, go listen to Hegelian Dialectic again. Listen to the unmastered version of Hegelian on those headphones, and now you will finally hear what it is that I heard when I was done and what it's supposed to sound like. Like, you'll actually hear what it is that me and P heard when we said, yes, this is it. So, I'm glad you got on board, homie. They're easily replaceable if they break or something. They're only $100. I want to make a deal with Sony so I can make my own version of these headphones. Like a different... I want to change the cord and these ear pads, but the ear pads are made this way so that you can replace them easily. Smart. So, it's funny because if somebody's here, like if I send them a mix or they come into my studio and they check out a mix or whatever, I always tell them to bring their headphones that they're comfortable with, that they're used to listening to things on. And we'll play it, and then if they don't have the same headphones, then I'll give them mine, and I'll hit play again, and they always have the same reaction, like, oh wow, it's so much clearer and open. Yeah, so if you value clarity when you're listening to music or working or whatever, Sony MDR 7506 is, people. I'll type it in the chat. I have been using these headphones exclusively for 20 fucking years. Literally, it's the first pair of professional headphones that I ever got, and I have never changed from them. This isn't the same first pair, and I don't get it twisted. I'm on... I don't even know how many I've gone through in the last 20 years. Surprisingly, not that much. It's like... It's pretty much like every 2 to 3 years I'll end up replacing them. Yeah. It's awesome that they're working out for you, Lux, because that's what it's all about with these headphones. You can actually hear everything. It hasn't been distorted in any way. You notice nobody's... The whole Beats by Dre and Beats headphones and all, I don't see nobody wearing them shits no more. Like, at all. Like, I don't see a single fucking person wearing Beats by Dre. I don't see him in the studio. I don't see none of that shit no more because... Those fucking headphones suck, dude. I could not understand why people thought it sounded good. I hated those headphones. And, shout out to ALC, the most generous goat of all time, it seems like. Because Al gave me his set that he actually had. And he was just like, yeah, I just got, Dre just sent me my own custom Beats. He's like, oh, you want these ones? And he just gave me his set. And, dude, I ended up giving them to my godson because I don't think he even knows that they were Alchemists to start with. But I ended up getting my godson because he just wanted Beats by Dre because they were the cool thing at that time, and he was around that age, so I get it. But these are the only ones for me. So, Lou, there's only another set of headphones that I like to reference with, and that's Apple. The earbuds, or I don't wear the AirPods because I get too many headaches already. But the Apple earbuds are very clear and transparent, and that's the vehicle in which most people are going to be listening to music, percentage-wise, is on Apple earbuds. So, you got to have those in your reference and mixing rotation just because that's what most people are going to listen to. So you better make it sound good on those. Now, it's crazy is when I was doing Hegelian, I had, I think, 12 sets of headphones, and I was literally referencing each mix on every single set of headphones and doing tweaks to make sure that it sounded dope on all of them. Dude, I had all of them. 50s headphones, Beats, earbuds, Apple, Sony's, Bear Dynamics, AKGs. I had all of them. And it doesn't matter, man. I always would just go right back to this. These are the best ones. So, enough about me, everybody. What's been going on with you guys? I hope your crypto portfolios have continued to grow. No, he still got them. He better not have got rid of them, Lou Banger. I'm sure he still has them. I don't think he uses them anymore. I think he's on his AirPods or whatever, but he better not got rid of them shits. Yeah, VeChain's going to do its thing. Ontology, BitTorrent, they're going to do their thing, man. They have been, and they're going to continue to do their thing. And that's why I'm riding with them in 2021. And now, Vita, you got to add Cardano into the mix. That's the fourth one. See, Vita, this is the thing, man. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. I'm not going to buy it at like 98 cents, and if it goes up to $1.07, I'm going to sell it. I know people are like, oh, well, you sell high and buy low. So I am more of a just continue to buy low, buy low, buy low, and hodl it, dude. Hold it. Build your portfolio. I find that every time I like leverage out of something, I always regret it, even if I make the right move. And it's just like, oh man, I took $100 and then it was $100 and I got up to $106. Well, fuck that shit, dude. Just buy more. If you're not making giant moves, I'm not into the leverage game. Not me, Lou Banger. I hold it all, man. Because I look at it like, well, what if my initial investment's $1,000 and then it's up to like, you know, it gets to $1,500. I'm not going to sell that $1,000 and just have the $500 sitting there. I want that $1,500 worth sitting there. Just let it keep on rising, man. This is just my own personal strategy, is to hold things and let them grow. I don't want to sit there and day trade. That's what I do this for, man. You know, I'm a man of the people. Whether some people want to believe that shit or not, I will always do more than I do for others than I do for myself, because it's not about me. So I want everybody to get it. I want everybody to gain their freedom from this system that you get locked under. Who the fuck wants to work their whole life building somebody else's dream just to retire when you're old and you can't do shit? I'm fighting a good fight, Lux. I mean, it is good, Vita. There's ways to make money off of it. You could really come up. It's just you also have to be dedicated. And if I do something, I'm all in on it. And I'm all in on a couple things right now. And I don't have time to be all in on day trading. I did it for a while. It's fine. But I didn't come up enough for me to be like, well, I could have bought what I leveraged up to. And my time was way more valuable. I spent a lot of time trying to like ride these waves and whatnot, and I'm not making big enough moves right now to sacrifice the time. I would rather just sacrifice the money. The time is the only currency. I'd rather spend my time doing something else. Well, Mr. RN, I suggest everybody, you get $1,400. Take at least 400 of it and buy some crypto. At least 400 of it and buy something and watch what happens. So you guys got me wanting to check my account to see if I got the stimulus yet. Yeah, see? You need to spend your time doing other things unless you want to be a day trader. If that's what you want to do, did you jump in full force on it? And I'm sure you guys can hear that in the background. It never ends. Never fucking ends. It's just a constant stream of noise and audio pollution. I value quiet and serenity so much. It's crazy for somebody that's a mixing engineer to value silence. But after my youth of being around noise and chaos and loud music and basically just a whole bunch of noise is what it felt like. I value silence so much. Well, see, Vita, this is the dope thing. When you say things like, I can't wait to go to university and I'm finished with school, that lets me know exactly how young you are. The fact that you are this young and you're already jumping into the crypto world and learning how to invest and build capital and how financing and financial independence and fiscal responsibility and all these fucking things work. You're ahead of the game, baby, because they don't teach you that shit in school. They'll teach you about fucking Homer's Odyssey and whichever chicks Zeus was fucking with, right? And the Pythagorean theorem and things of this nature. Well, they don't teach you how to survive. Vita, just get on your crypto so good, like so savagely that you don't even need a degree. You're already off and running. And let's not say hopefully, just say when I get better in 3 years' time. Let's not limit ourselves. There is no hope. Yeah, Mr. RN, school is an indoctrination for the Ferris wheel. Cryptocurrency is indoctrination into the Ferrari wheel. Get it? Oh, you know what P always say, the Ferraris only have 2 seats for a reason, though. It's lonely when you reach that stage. And the bus has got 100. Indoctrination, that means that they fill your head full of their thoughts and beliefs and whatnot, and then eventually get you into thinking the same shit. I can't rap, yo. I can't. Don't tell. I can't rap. Lou Bang, I think we could add a word to that. I think it would be systematic brainwashing, because it is a system of brainwashing. It's just not. It's not like Stockholm syndrome, where one person gets brainwashed into a scenario where they eventually have feelings for their captor or whatnot. Yeah, of course. Vita, you get it. Victor, what up, homie? Well, alright, so you can either work to build your own dream, or you can work to build somebody else's dream. And that's what it is. I chose to work to build my own dream. Nah, yeah, I can't rap. I'm going to put that on a shirt, a 333 merch shirt that says I can't rap. You know, I got to make the shirt that says I'm just an ignorant white dude for the mountains of West Virginia. What the fuck do I know about rap? What the fuck? Yo, I don't know if you guys were watching the show the other day or the other night. Fuck. I don't think it was Saturday. It might have been Saturday, or I mean RIP TV. I feel like it was, but yo, somebody came in and just started flaming on me. And you know, that shit's funny to me. I really don't give a fuck. It's just like, yeah, Lou Bang, that's a thing. I can go through a list of horror movies that are based in West Virginia. We got the worst reputation ever. Anyway, this dude, what was his name? Jamrock. Jamrock. That was his username. Reyes, what up? I don't know what his problem was, but he popped in the show and was just like, oh, look, is this a white dude? I see that there's another white man profiting off of black culture. He was going in. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I was just like, yo, I'm here to play P records, man. If you pop into a show that I'm doing and you don't know who I am and you're just like, oh, this is just some white dude profiting off of black culture, that's hilarious to me. I'm 20 years in the game, man. It's rap culture, not black culture. And I would like to think that I contributed to the culture. I did not take away from it during my career. So, yeah, fuck that dude. But hilarious though. Whatever. So funny. So my sense of humor is along the basis of South Park, to where either everything is funny or nothing's funny. So if you're gonna say something about me and it's funny, I'm definitely laughing, dude. I'm 40. I've been laughing at myself forever at this point. But yeah, dude, he was going in on me. He instantly went, like, instantaneously went to the race thing. Oh, it's a white dude. It's just like, why didn't he say something about my hoodie? There's more camouflage covering me than fucking Caucasian skin. Like, what the fuck? So, hilarious. Who's my favorite rapper besides P? Santana Fox, Cash Bills, Devin the Dude, DMX, Cormega. I like Styles P. Lupe Fiasco is talented. I mean, Kendrick is on everybody's list, so let's be realistic here about that dude. But yeah, that's about it. But Santana Fox, the torch bearer herself. Of course, Tupac. I don't even ever have to say Tupac. I grew up listening to Tupac, so. Now, Victor, I don't get exposed to a whole lot of new music because I typically only listen to what I'm working on. So that's why I like doing Beat Boutique so much, because you guys, at least I get to hear stuff I've never heard from you guys. Yeah, I'm always working on music, so when I'm not working on music, I don't want to listen to anybody. But the Fox, whoo. Wait till you hear this album. Good God. You guys are going to be... I don't know what words to use to describe it. Because I'm shocked. I'm shocked putting it together. I was just like, wow, this is fucking... When people hear this, they are going to know. They are going to know that she is now the torchbearer. Which is... Listen, there's no restrictions on talent to me. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sex you are. I don't care what religious affiliation or political affiliation you have. I don't care what your background is, as long as you're not a fucking asshole. I don't really care. It's kind of weird when people will say something like, oh, I don't see color. Like, really? Are you colorblind? What you need to say is race doesn't bother you. You don't say, oh, I don't see color. I do. I'm white. They're black. They're Indian. You need to recognize people's heritage and culture and whatnot, not fucking erase everybody's. Like, when people say they don't see color, you already know. You already know what they're trying to hide from. You don't see color. I'm wearing a camo hoodie and a gray hat. Those are colors. Like, don't say you don't see color, you idiot. Say that someone's race doesn't bother you. There's no determining factor because of somebody's race. Because that's so stupid. God, I fucking hate. I hate people most of the time. Yeah, Mr. RN. The Fox. The Fox. Yeah, no, Victor, Pete would tell you all the time. You're either a good person, you either do good or you do evil. There's only energy. There's no fucking colors. There's no colors. Within each race, there's different color spectrums. So, like, what the fuck? Is it a bloodline that you don't fuck with? Is it a cultural thing? Is there a chromosome thing genetically that you don't fuck with? Like, explain it on a whole different level, but don't put somebody in a box because of what skin color they happen to have at that moment in time. All right? So, especially with white people. Italians, for sure, Sicilians especially. But white people who can tan and get really fucking dark. So what is it? Are they a different race? Do you view them differently in late July and August as you do in December when they're pasty white? Like, let's be realistic about these things here. So, the whole reason I went off on that tangent right there is, I understand that rap is ultra ego and machismo and whatnot, so it's very hard for a female to break into rap, especially during this time period. It's hard for a female to break into rap who's not sitting there talking about her pussy the entire time and how she gets money. Like, you can't fuck her if you don't have money, like shit like that. All that stupid fucking, all that shit. So, Rhapsody, Lady Luck, Jean Grey, Rod Digger, Kim, Foxy. There's a bunch of females who could really fucking rap, man. So, and they don't have to go that route, but it's hard for them to break in because it's like, oh, the only way you can make it big is if you rap like, if you present yourself like that. Well, that's because of the gatekeepers. So it's been, it's always fun when you run into an artist that you wouldn't expect them to be able to rap at the level they do. So I'm not going to diminish anybody's potential just because they happen to be a female rapper. That's fucking retarded. But, dude, when the Fox started sending me records, I was just like, whoa. And, within 10 songs, I had already elevated her mentally to top 5 female MC already. And now, she's it's easily my favorite new artist coming out, and it's not even because it's Tasia. It's the music itself. I can compartmentalize and separate the human from the art, and I only look at it objectively as the music. The music itself is what fucking impresses me. Just wait. Yeah, my bad, Victor. I hate to forget anybody because there's a ton of them. But Eve can, she can rap, man. Pitbull in a skirt. And she married a billionaire. Good for her. What a come up. What a come up. So Leanna says that she will be free to talk in a few minutes. So I guess we will be having a full crypto rundown soon. R.I.P. to Sean Price, the Barbarian. Believe today is his birthday. I knew Trav would have a post up. So, yeah. R.I.P. and happy born day to Sean Price. Thank you to Bernadette and to P for allowing me to be involved in Imperious Rex. Mike J, what up, man? Is weed bad for you? No. Weed is God's medicine. Why do you think they fucking legalized it for so long, dude? Yeah, Sean P is a good dude, man. I got to meet him out in Cali for a brief moment in time. And then after he passed, whenever they were working on Imperious Rex, and they did 3 lyrical P's, they reached out to P. And he just like, yo, we're going to do this song with... And at that time, kind of before that, P and Styles P kind of had a little bit of a disagreement. So it was nice for them to put that aside and do that record. But it was, because of them, I got to be involved with Imperious Rex. And you can actually see right there is a nice little plaque for Imperious Rex. Victor, yeah, Alchemist is that dude, man. Extremely generous. Outrageous. He's so funny. He is so goddamn funny, dude. And he's the greatest producer of all time. I've known Al since before P got out of prison. I've known Al for like 10, 11, 12 years at this point, something like that. I mean, Victor, if you would have been in the chat a little bit earlier, you would have heard that Al, the pair of Beats by Dre that I gave my godson, Al gave them to me. Because he had just gotten a set of personalized Beats by Dre that had his name on them. He's like, yo, I just got these. Dre just sent me these. He was just like, yo, you want these ones? I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, whatever, I'll check them out. I don't like the way they sounded, so I didn't want them. But, my godson was a teenager at the time, and it was all about... I remember what it's like to be a teen. And at that point, Beats by Dre was just a fashion choice. It wasn't even a music choice. So I gave them to him. I do have a pair of Adidas up here somewhere. See if I can find them. I don't know, they're up here somewhere. But they had made Alchemist they'd given him 3 pair of these custom digging in the crates Alchemist low shell tops. They're all black with red and green. And dude, me and P were at his crib for like 3 days before he even got back from Europe. And when he got back, he had these shoes, and he was just like, yo, what size you wear, man? I was like 9.5. He's just like, me too. Here. He gave me a pair, and he gave P a pair. And I was just like, I'm telling you, I was an extremely generous individual. And that's admirable when you're in that type of position to just be like, no, take this shit, pay for everything, like whatever. Al's a really good dude, man. And he's fucking hilarious, I'm telling you. That's the fun part about being around like your heroes and whatnot, is some of them that I've met are so goddamn funny. P was hilarious, man. You just never got to see that part of him. He was so funny. And Alchemist is hysterical. Action Bronson is literally him and his whole crew. It's just like they're just all comedians. They're so funny. And let's not forget Twid. Twid is... It's never not fun with Twin. I don't care what it is. Phone conversation, DM conversation, text, whatever. Going out, shows, dinner, studio time. It doesn't matter what you're doing with Twin. It's going to be fun. So shout out to the big homie, the grimy one, my motherfucking homie Twin, because it's St. Patrick's Day today, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's St. Patrick's Day, so that means Twin is drunk already. And it was just 3:33 somewhere. Actually, it was 3. So it's become muscle memory for me to say it's 3:33 somewhere. It was 3:33 here in front of me. What the fuck? I haven't eaten yet today. I'm running on fumes. But yeah, shout out to the grimy one. Twin is the most fun to go out with. And I will tell you who else is actually really, really funny. Is Mike DeLorean. I'm like, that guy's so funny. Yeah, Mike J. It's become muscle memory. I've been saying it for like a year and a half. A couple times per stream. And it's rarely actually 3:33 because it would only happen during the Dour Hour or if I was mixing at 3:33 in the morning. But, yeah, dude, it's muscle memory at this point. I just say it. I don't even think about it. It was 3:33 here, and I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm Italian and whatnot, Sicilian, so and I don't drink alcohol, so the whole St. Patrick's Day is always kind of missed me as far as the celebration end of it. Well, Vita, this is a funny story, right? So I learned it from Michael Brower during my years at Quad Studios. Like firsthand from Michael. Michael was my homie. I kind of just introduced myself to him on the first day. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was like that important. I didn't care. I was just like, what's up, Mike? Or no, I was just like, what's up? I'm Joe. Who the fuck are you? Just trying to be like loosen the tension in the air, and he respected it, and we became cool, and I learned from him. But it's just something that I don't want to say that I was good at because it sounds arrogant, but it's just something that I could do naturally. The first song that I ever mixed in my life, ever, still sounds dope to this day. And you can hear my sound and style all over it. It's Michael Brower. So just from the first one, that's when, because I went to college to make beats, but when we had to do a mixing class, the first one, it just clicked for me. I was just like, oh, this is it. I'm not making beats anymore. I'm doing this. And I was just off and running. But Michael Brower, I'll type it in there and you can go look him up. Check his credits, because they're 10 miles long. It's fucking Michael Brower, dude. That guy's got so many Grammys, it's retarded. Put it this way, this guy mixes all of Coldplay's records. So how many fucking Grammys have those guys won? Billy Joel. He did Aretha Franklin, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Mr. RN, Alright, so when I was born, and then as a toddler, before I was 5 years old, I couldn't really hear anything. And my parents were fearful that I was going to be deaf. But what actually happened is my ear canals were really, really small, because it's cartilage, and they were almost closed off. So for the first 5 years of my life, I had to learn how to hear different, because I didn't know anything different. That's all I knew. I thought, that's what everybody thought. Nobody's going to tell you as a 4-year-old, you're like, yeah, you can't hear as good as everyone else. You wouldn't comprehend it anyway. So what I ended up doing is teaching myself how to hear through pressure changes. I can feel it. And then at 5, and I think again at 7 or 8, I ended up getting surgery on my ear canals to widen them. And it didn't really work the first time. And the second time it did. And I remember coming out of surgery and like waking up from them. And everything was so effing loud. Oh my God. It was like, I cannot explain to you how intense everything was, because at that point, it was still frequency. I was feeling frequencies and feeling pressure changes. So now you're adding the sonic part of it, and it was just like, whoa, so loud. And I'm still like that. Everything is so loud to me. But so fast forward 23 years from there, and I'm in audio school, and they're explaining how you mix records, like what it is to like isolate a sound amongst other sounds and balance and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I already hear like that. Like, that's how I hear. I already know how to take a noise amongst a bunch of noise and be able to pull it out and just focus on it, because I had to, because I couldn't hear shit as a kid. So I was like, holy shit. It was like a very Slumdog Millionaire moment. Like, I was built for this. Every part of your life leads up to that moment. And it was just like, I guess I'm ahead of the game. I wasn't ahead of the game on engineering because I didn't know shit. And, but as far as mixing goes, the whole aspect of having to learn how to hear to mix, that's how I've been listening to things my whole life. So it was really easy for me to jump into mixing records from there, man. So that's how it happened. And it's weird because I was built for it, not intentionally. So I ended up taking I wouldn't say a disability, but I took something as what everybody looked at as like, oh, you're going to have a hard time in life. It's going to be harder for you because of this. And I flipped that shit on its fucking head and turned it into a career and an identity. And at this point, we're building a legacy. Yeah, man. Hey, Victor. I like that. I got the weakest power. I'm not going to fight, but I can hear everything. I am the John Wick of rap. I am a man of extraordinary focus and dedication to rap records. Leanna, you are taking too long. But yeah, that's how it ended up happening. And then, the universe blessed me with allowing me to cross paths with Michael and get to learn from the literal mixing master how to mix records. And Mike J, I gotta have a giveaway. We gotta celebrate. We hit 2K. I saw that the other day. I was just like, oh, holy shit, that happened quick. It went from 1,800 to 2,000 in like a couple days. Vito, I'll see you later, homie. But yeah, we gotta have a giveaway. And plus, it's easier to have giveaways now when there's merch on deck. So, somebody's gonna get a hoodie. I don't know what kind of giveaway I'm gonna have, but somebody's gonna get a hoodie probably. Or a pair of shorts or a t-shirt, or I don't know. I have a ton of merch planned, and we'll see where we can go from there. Yeah, Mr. RN is it's odd because I don't think I can teach people the physics of mixing and the methodology that I use and the theories. But I can't teach them to hear how I do. So it's weird. I would have to run into somebody who had the same thing happen to them and like take them under my wing and be like, listen, man, you don't understand. You have a superpower. You just got to develop it. Yeah, Mike J, hit up 333 merchandise on IG. Just DM me, man. And the dope thing about the 333 merch is I don't make like 50 of these at once and then have 50 of them sitting there that I got to get rid of. I literally go and do everything one at a time at the manufacturer. And that gives me the option and the availability for custom colorways. So if you order a hoodie, just tell me what color combination you want and I'll see if I can make it happen. And also, if you order a hoodie, you get a free loot pack for the month of March. So, I try to make everything incentive laden. Just because if anybody fucks with anything that is I'm doing, this channel, the merch that I'm making and shit, that's a very humbling experience, and I really fucking appreciate it because I really only make things that I want to wear myself. So if somebody wants some of the shit that I make, it's fucking awesome. So I guess while I'm waiting for Leanna, I can explain a little bit about what I do. So this right here is suede. It's not screen printed. It's suede because I'm bougie like that, and I didn't want just ink. I wanted it to be worth it. And the messages on the inside are made with stretch material, so you can roll up your sleeves. Shout out to Buck the President. You can stretch it out all you want and it's not going to crack on you. So quality is very, very, very important to me. So it took a long time to put these together and to come up with the right materials and to make sure that it's the way I would want it. So yeah, come fuck with me, guys. It's just see what I got. Maybe you'll fuck with it. So I do have a lot of things in the works as far as the merch goes. Hats are next. I gotta make hats. I need hats like immediately. But yeah, I went with suede because it just felt cool and I wanted it to be different. Oh, I'm also going to get into athletic wear, like workout gear. It's in the works. It's literally in the works. I have so many things that once you guys said you wanted hoodies, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna run with this. Because, shout out to Wosk. But once this logo was like officially set and done, and I put it on one hoodie, I was like, that's it. I'm running with this one. So hit up the merch shop, the 333 shop on Instagram, or you can email me. I eventually will have a website up and running, but I'm only one human being, and I'm doing a lot of shit at once, it seems like. I appreciate it, Mike. I got some I got some things in the pipeline that I'm really happy about. Now, if I can run into the right manufacturer who's going to be able to create what's in my brain, then we will have come full circle and mastered the hoodie game. But I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I really fucking like this camo when this shit came out. Super dope. I'm really happy with how it came out. So, yeah, been working on the merch line, working on some music. I have not been making beats lately because that creative energy has been put into other things. And shout out to my homie Nove. He came through and supported and got 2 hoodies off me. A black one with white and then a maroon one with white, which we spiced up because we put a reflective color changing outline around the logo stripes, and that shit was cool as fuck. I mean, honestly, Mike J, any support, if you play a P record on YouTube, it's all about P. So we're supporting and keeping the message and the lyrics and the knowledge and the ideas and the theories going. That's the whole point. So even typing, just this chat, even chatting it supports the channel, because that's how the algorithm works. So I always tell everybody I appreciate any support in any way whatsoever to the fullest, because you don't have to. Oh man, that's dope, Mike. You could skip it, man. You know, YouTube's the way that they do the ads is so funny because they changed their algorithm so much. And last year they changed it at the end of the year to where there's commercials playing on your videos whether or not you monetize it or not. And if you don't monetize it, then those commercial ad revenue just goes to YouTube. And it's when they got their new CEO, this I can't remember her name. It's something Ski. And she changed how it all works. So, but no, that's dope, man. I really appreciate that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys fuck with whatever I'm doing. It's a very humbling experience because you don't have to. You choose to. And that's fucking awesome. And this 333 community, man, I love you guys because I've become friends with a number of you guys. Like, we'll hang out in person, come to the crib, let's roll the fuck up, let's go play golf, let's do some shit. Roger Harper's my motherfucking homie, as you can see, right there in the center. Mirror effect. There we go. Number 47, about to light Barry Sanders the fuck up. That's my motherfucking homie. And, you know, Roger Harper and myself cross paths through morning meditation, of all things. The community is dope, man. It's fucking dope. I love it. Beat Boutique is so much fun. It's so much fun. I just want to leave the physical plane a better place than when I got here. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. I'm just gonna hold it down for P, and want to help the fox go as far as she wants to, because she's got it, man. She's got it. She is the torchbearer now. I'm telling you guys, wait until you hear this fucking album. Nah, the Hollywood crowd, I don't like hanging out with them. They don't really like hanging out with me either. They don't like me at their parties or whatnot. I'm just not with their nonsense. That's not the path that I chose. There are 3 paths to enlightenment: left, right, and middle. They're choosing one. I've clearly chosen the other. And you can go in the middle path also, and that's kind of a hybrid of the two. And I guess that would be, you can't call it the quickest route, because the dark side is the quickest route. It always is. You could dance in the middle, but there's a price to pay for some of the things you have to do to advance forward by choosing the middle, because you're going to have to do some of the things on the wrong side. Or you can be a child of the light and get ready for the battle at hand. Some metaphysical war. Yeah, man, you're gonna you're gonna see some people. All right, so that's a one thing about being in the battle for the soul of humanity, is you reach a high enough level of professional achievement, and then you're going to you're going to be in the same room at some functions or whatnot, or you're going to cross paths with some people that you know some really fucking weirdo shit about. Like, you know some shit about them, and it's just like, that's not the time and place. This is a metaphysical war we're fighting. It's not on this physical plane. You know, you going to like a party and like seeing Diddy or something and like fucking snuffing him, that's not going to actually do anything. What that's going to do is, that's going to get you erased. They're going to end up disappeared from this physical plane. They don't fight fair, dude. And it's not the time and place. It's not the forum for that. You know, so there's always a time and a place and the proper outlet and whatnot for you to fight the battle. And it ain't at one of those parties. So it's best just not to go to them. Yeah, man, you can't do stuff like that, man. You're never in that circle again. So you're not, the achievements that you work so hard to make happen mean nothing if you're throw it all out the window. Like, and then honestly, that's not an effective way to fight the battle anyway. That's an emotional response. It'll make you feel good at the moment, but that's not really fighting the battle. We're here to fight the battle, fight the war, not that little moment in time. That would be a selfish response, because you would be more effective by staying in the room, observing how some of these people move and who they associate with, so then you can start connecting some dots and become better educated about who and what it is that you're up against. So those moments were always opportunities to really absorb, not their energy, not that shit, but to absorb the methodology and how some people move, and, you know, the unwritten communication and the unspoken words, and some how they shake hands and where they place their hands on certain people. There's so many levels to this shit. There's so much going on that the uninitiated would have absolutely no idea. And that's where the lines of communication are most important. So, yeah, man, I'm not there to absorb any of this shit they got going on. You got to go in with a shield up, knowing that you are sent by God to slay serpents, as P put it. Yeah, dude, we're fighting a whole different war, so, you just let all those thoughts slide. Some books that I know of. Behold a Pale Horse. That's a must. The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. P gave me that one. Godel Escher Bach in The Eternal Golden Braid. Well, we won't talk about that, Lou. Just know that I've... Yeah, man. Exactly, Victor. Exactly. So I've almost became an unfortunate victim of a weirdo party. But my metaphysical shield got me out of there before they got any footage of me doing anything retarded and completely out of my physical control because you just drugged me. But I've been there enough that I reached that level, and then the fight was on after that. I tell you, it was on after that. It's on. Like, all right, cool. All right, let me leave this part of the industry completely, which I did at that moment. There was no more going out. There was none of that shit. It was all Hegelian. Honestly. All the weirdo shit and all the partying and everything was the whole Albert Einstein era. You hear how destructive that music is and how angry it is. Well, that's what we were going through at the time. And then, some things happens in some mansions and some parties where you have to have a password to get in. Things like that. And, and then the fight began. I never even realized that timeline. I never honestly linked those two together. I'm trying to think when the end of that was. That period of my life. And they almost got me, but they didn't fully. And then I've been in the fight ever since. Sucks though, you lose your friends and your heroes and your mentors and all that when you're in a war. There are casualties of war. And you got to find a way to keep fighting. Not even just for the cause itself or the soul of humanity or for the light or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but just for your friends that you've lost. Because if you don't keep fighting, then the loss is for nothing. It's crazy. It's like every movie where somebody dies, they're always just like, oh, we have to keep going because if we don't, then this is for nothing. And that it's art imitating life once again. What the fuck am I even talking about right now, guys? I haven't done the Dour Hour in too long. I forgot that this conversation has no point and it just kind of goes off. What in the fuck? Oh, man. Leanna's going to miss the Dour Hour. She's taking too long. She got one blunt worth of time left. And I'm moving on to other things with my day. Yeah, I just was freestyling that conversation, Lou. I don't know where I was going with that one. That one was, I just went off on that. I hope you guys were paying attention because I don't really remember what the fuck I just said. Yeah, infamous. So I would start with Behold a Pale Horse because it's comprehensible, right? It's things that you'll be able to understand at a beginner's level of, I don't believe none of this shit's happening around me for real. Let me see what's really going on, right? And then you could move on to The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Now, that is basically an encyclopedia of all of the esoteric knowledge that's been released to the public. And it is very long, and it is very in-depth, and you're going to have to read it a couple times because it is a lot of information, like a lot of information. And then if you really want to mind fuck yourself, then you read the Eternal Golden Braid. And if you can make it through that book, we need to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation because that book took me 2.5 years to read. It is on some next level shit. Like, the guy makes up his own math. You have to really, your brain has to be different for you to read that whole book. P told me, he gave it to me. He's just like, yo, see if you can get through this one. He said he made it through like I think it was 80 pages. He made it through, and he's just like, it's too hard. The Eternal Golden Braid. He said it's too hard. He said you have to keep going back and reread things because of the way he writes the book. It requires you to go backwards and reread things so that you can move forward. Here, I'm going to type it in the chat right now. So the basis of the Eternal Golden Braid is that Gödel, Escher, and Bach all figured out the math equation for the universe. And they put this equation into their art, architecture, music, things like that. That's kind of the premise of it, is that they figured it out and then they applied it to what it is they were doing, right? So I figured it out too, and that's how I mix records on a metaphysical level so that you are affected beyond just the words. I kind of figured that out just through years of trial and error and research and whatnot. So when I read this book, I was just like, okay, all right, now I know the exact numbers and whatnot. So, but it goes way beyond that. It talks about how artificial intelligence, and I'm not talking about the concept of it, like how it's going to work, the math necessary to make it work. Dude, it's so much. So I read it 2.5 years. When I was done reading that book, I looked at P and I said I'd never have to read another book again in my life, because it's not going to be more complicated than this one. And every time I tried to start reading a book after that, nope, I'll just watch a YouTube video about it. Nope, I'm not doing this again. I mean, that must be that I'm tapped in right now, homie. I must be vibrating at a good frequency and sending it out there. The messages are out there. Those are metaphysical messages. That's the collective consciousness and the network of communication that works on that level. Oh man, I'm dropping metaphysical gems on you guys today. YouTube's going to shut me down. They don't like this stuff. Well, Mike, I can promise you that if all of you're doing is seeking knowledge, that's exactly what you're going to get. So at every stage of my career and metaphysical evolution, all I have ever asked is for answers. I promise you, this is an honest moment. I've always just wanted answers and knowledge so that I can move forward, because I know, and I've always known, that this physical plane is not it. This is not the end game. So it's not about belief, it's not about faith. You have to know. In order for Neo to make it from one rooftop to the next, you can't believe that you can jump and that the Matrix is real. You have to know. And when you know, there's nothing that can change your perception or your mission at that point, because it becomes very clear to you that you're near the end of this physical plane. Especially when you see humanity and the levels that other people are at. And it's just like, all right, I must be on to something. I must not have too many cycles left before I can go on to the next one. So, you have to know. Victor, go get it. Pop in whenever. You can DM me, Gmail. We can talk about that book. I'm here to put the people on in any way that I can. And plus, I'd like to see somebody else's take on that, because I actually don't know anybody else who's finished that book. I know I've recommended it to a bunch of people and they've began it, but it's a whole different level of thinking. I think in order to understand it and some of its concepts and constructs and whatnot, that you have to have taught your brain to process information in a different fashion. There's right brain and left brain. Logic, creative. And there are ways that you can get both of them to work at the same time. There's training methods and there are books, but these books are not available to the masses. You have to kind of know somebody who's going to give you that book. That's one cool thing that I will say about knowing some enlightened individuals is I have been given some knowledge that you can only get from that circle of people. Like, go ahead and try to find these books in the public sphere. You can look as much as you want. They do not exist. And it's funny. It's funny that no matter how many times, see, they're probably watching this shit right now. No matter how many times they try to get me into the box of the club, and when I say the box of the club, it's like, in order for you to gain enlightenment or reach the next level of conscious evolution or anything like that, to them you have to spend like X amount of years reading all these texts and all this shit and initiation rites and all that. I tell them every single time, that shit ain't for me, homie. Like, I'm not with it. It's not. I'm already past that. Like, there's nothing. Me reading these books for 20 years is, I'm past that level. I'm Neo in the Matrix. Typical cynic, I will tell you that life is all about perspective. Every situation is about how you choose to react. So literally any given scenario is just about how you choose to react to it. So if you're a cynic by nature, I think it would behoove you to change that to analytical instead of cynic. Don't just doubt everything and be cynical of it. You need to analyze it and process it and see what's really going on behind what's the reasoning that this event or this thing or whatever is happening or has happened. And that way you can use your cynical powers to really teach yourself a lot. Because if you're cynic by nature, you're already tearing things down. You're tearing it apart. You don't believe, trust in anything. You're already destroying it and tearing it apart piece by piece. So since you're already doing that, make it a strength. Turn it into a tool that you have. And sharpen that tool. What's going on, man? What's going on? I know you're going through a lot over there. And I can only go off of what information I have from you. So, if you've got 5 minutes and you're choosing to spend it with me, I find that odd. So how can I help you? If they want to lock you down for life, I am not real sure what you have gotten yourself into. But I absolve myself legally of any responsibility or influence into whatever situations you are in. Now that that's out of the way, what the fuck's going on? See how the legal game works? It's fucking retarded. Lord Witch. What up, man? Well, if it's because you're homeless, then that is not a justifiable medically nor legally to lock someone down for life. So there must be more to the story, because there always is. Yes, it is a trip, so just make sure you enjoy the trip, dude. Like, well, then you must remove yourself from this environment. If you are not legally required to be there, then you must remove yourself from this environment that is causing harm. Well, Mike, this is... eventually you'll be led to those people. Just keep walking a righteous path. You'll be guided. It's like Book of Eli. He just kept on walking. He was guided. Just walking and walking and walking. And that movie. Alright, stay safe, man. There's only one way out, and that's you. That's you. You've got to figure it out. But insomnia and amnesia, you're going to have to start meditating as much as possible. And essentially everything and everyone is a product of your environment, and even if you're not, eventually you will be. So if you can't change the environment itself, then you must change the environment that you're in. And it's whatever it takes. Yeah, good luck out there, man. You know I'll be here doing whatever it is I do. It's Wednesday. I got nothing going on Wednesday, so I will probably be mixing a record tonight later on. Because I can always do that, and there's always records to mix. I speak in a lot of fortune cookies, if you guys haven't noticed. I've been an old soul my entire life, and parables and fortune cookies are part of my natural language. It's hilarious. I think the fox, Santana Fox, used to she used to get so tight at me. She used to yell at me all the time and be like, "Yo, would you just talk like a human? Why does everything you say is like a fortune cookie? Like, could you just answer the fucking question?" Well, and then lovely, I believe that is the universe giving you the answers that you sought, because that's what I've spent my entire life on, is metaphysical mixing, if you can imagine that, and smoking copious amounts of blunts, if you can also imagine that. Oh, she's gonna miss the Dour Hour, man. The Durban Poison is excellent. Excellent. Well, lovely, if you're into mixing, I mean, just watch any of my beat mixing live streams. I don't talk in them. I'm not there to teach by decree. And I'm not there to answer questions. I'm actually working. But if you can learn by watching, then you're going to learn a lot. And that's the whole reason that I do it, is so that maybe somebody who has a question that they want answered about mixing or whatnot, maybe it'll make them better at what they do. It'll improve their sound, especially with producers. I do a lot of beat mixing so that producers can make their beats sound better. So when they send them out, there's a better chance that they're going to land something, because there's no deficiencies. There's no deficiencies. It sounds good. The production is already taken care of. They can't say, well, it doesn't sound good, so I wish it sounded better. None of that shit. Oh, yeah, see? So, I don't know what you got going on, homie, but just stay safe. But yeah, I learned from literally some of the best engineers to have ever existed, and I was very fortunate the universe put me in front of them. So, I know that knowledge is not mine to keep anymore, because I don't need it anymore. The landscape has changed. I'm not in the studio recording anybody. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm just walking the path again. So I'm not going to hoard any of that information. I will give it out. Now, I'm going to start doing... I think I'm going to use Patreon for it, because if I happen to be No, I have not. I have not heard of them. I'll say now I know I'm high because I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I just started. Have I worked with any really difficult people? Are you kidding me? You have to remember that this is art. This is people's art. They're very fanatical about this shit. So I think one of the best skills that you can have as a tracking engineer or a studio engineer is being able to navigate the social aspect of working with the artist. And Maserati Fox, R.I.P. to Mozzie. That's a special individual he was, but good God. Lord have mercy, working with that guy. Whew. There's the people that are just like, shut up, I'm a rock star, you're here to do what I tell you to do. And shit like that. But my hands don't call for those. So I never really had too many of those. I will tell you a funny story. So one of my interns / assistant engineers was working with a female rapper. And I'll just say that they were also entangled at the same time period. And I'm on the couch at Infamous Studios in the back. And I actually had my coat over my head. And I was just kind of waiting for their session to end. And he's recording her. And he's at the captain's chair, and he's like doing a couple things. And she's like right over his shoulder telling him to do more things. And he's just like, I got it. Just give me a second. I can't instantly make everything happen. And eventually that escalated to her yelling at him. And I mean yelling at him. She was like, no. I'm the artist, and you're the fucking engineer, and you do whatever the fuck I tell you to do. How can I put this? At that moment in time, Kavon turned into Hurricane Ike, and he's been Hurricane Ike ever since. I mean, literally, that moment in time, I saw a human being change permanently. And he just popped up, and he looked at her, and he was just like, that's it. I'm out. Fuck you. Fuck your music. I don't give a fuck anymore. And he just walked out and left her there. And of course she was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe he just did that to me, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just sitting there on the couch watching all of this unfold. I didn't say a word. And when the door slammed and you could see him walk down the block on the security camera, completely past the building and everything, she just looked at me. And my response was, don't even fucking think about it. Because I knew she was going to ask me to finish her session. That shit wasn't happening. I said, don't even fucking think about it. Leave now, and I'll email you whatever it is you did here. But that was the breaking point of a difficult artistic scenario, because he just had it. That was it. Now, I'm wondering, had I not been there and watching this whole thing unfold, if that would have been it, if he really would have reached the nexus. Because he snapped, and deservedly so. She deserved every bit of that shit. So, I still have more of a blunt left. Let's fast forward. You guys want to hear another funny chapter of this story? Why not? So fast forward, I don't know, 10 years. It's a really 7 years, something like that. And I think I was actually in West Virginia at the time. And I'm reading this article on my phone about a woman in New York who got arrested because when the cops pulled her over, apparently she had a couple pounds of weed in her car or whatever. But when they pulled her over, she became combative and was not physically but verbally combative, to the point where they ended up arresting her and then searching her car and really arresting her. But in the news article, it said that the woman became belligerent and was yelling at the officers that they don't know who she is, that Barack Obama follows her on Twitter. I'm not making this up. This is what it actually said. And that was the headline. Woman arrested for claiming that Obama follows her on Twitter. So of course I'm gonna click this article. No fucking way somebody actually said that. And I'm reading the article, and I scroll down, and it gets to the picture of the woman. It was that fucking rapper, yo. I could not believe it. I could not fucking believe that it was her. But at that moment in time, I knew that, yes, she didn't. There's a extreme high probability that she started yelling at them and talking about how Obama follows her on Twitter and how she's important or some shit like that. I could 1,000,000% see that happening from her. So I was not surprised. Hilarious, though, that it was her. And so I called, I think I DM'd him. I DM'd Hurricane Ike, and I was just like, yo, dude, did you see this shit? And he was just like, yeah, I already know all about it. Yo, Mike J, I'm not making that shit up. It was her. Hysterical. So funny. Oh my god, that shit's awesome. That shit's awesome. Yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was so poetic. It was so awesome. Dude, I know that you're not supposed to get joy in anybody else's pain or misery. But look, you can see the look on my face right now. I kind of enjoyed that one. I had nothing to do with it. So you can't, I don't want to say that I enjoyed it. That's the wrong word. I don't want to throw that in the universe. But there is a sense of satisfaction that karma came full circle. And it makes you trust more that karma is indeed active. I think it was a very judicial way to put what I really wanted to say. So, what a moment in time. Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah, you're not supposed to, man. You're not supposed to. You shouldn't get joy in someone else's scenario, because you eventually have to, or essentially not eventually, you essentially have to view it through the prism of whatever lessons it is that they need to learn in order to evolve, because that's the whole point, is to keep moving forward so that you can break free from this plane. So whatever lessons it is that they need to learn, then that's what that is. Now, yeah, there is sweet justice sometimes. So it's yeah, exactly. You can learn it through seeing it. Your witness, the fact that you're witnessing it, that's your lessons. So you better learn it from chapter 1, and not have to make it to chapter 3 or whatever chapter it is, where you have to go through that experience yourself because you didn't learn it by viewing it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Is you got to be careful how you word that. You don't want to create that thought out into the universe, and then karma's going to be like, "Oh, word? You haven't learned yet? All right, I got something for you. I've been cooking something up for a while for your ass." Oh man, the Dour Hour has been an interesting one. And typically I would be done by this time, but I was trying to stretch it out so that we could have a thorough crypto talk. All right, she's ready. All right, hold on, guys. All right, let me invite her. All right. All right, so sorry about that. So there's a reason that I've tried to delay this, stretch this out, because not only are we going to have a crypto talk, because my homie wants to learn some things, and I am here for the knowledge, and you guys might learn some things also. So fuck it. I have a really funny story to tell, and I've told it before. So if you guys have heard this story before, now there's verification coming. These events did indeed happen. This is hilarious. I need to have her couple at RIP TV or Bob Deep Monday so I could tell this story and have her verify it. I'll ask her if she'll do it. I'm sure she will. Alright, so Doge. No, I don't fuck with Doge. There's no tech behind it. And until there's an actual tech behind it and a viable reason for there to be a financial investment and backing, I'm not going to fuck with it. Now, you can make money. It's just like any stocks or whatever. It's like you're basically gambling on that one. So you could ride the wave and understand resistance points and go up and down with it. And you can come up. But I choose to understand the blockchain and the tech itself.
Hey.
So welcome to what I call the Dour Hour, to where you get to learn about crypto, because this is what I usually talk about on this show anyway. What up, homie?
Nothing. How are you?
Just trying to stay busy. Got a million things going on at once.
Of course. I'm not surprised.
Your newest edition is adorable.
Thank you.
She's got great.
She's so already. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I know. She got great hair.
Just like her mama.
Yeah, no, it's great. She's adorable, dude. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, and I love the puppy.
Oh, well, he's not a puppy anymore. He's,
I call all dogs puppy. Mine's 14, and I still call him puppy.
yeah, well, he's a big-ass puppy. I picked him up yesterday, and I was just like, oh, dude, you were getting a little bit too big.
How much does he weigh now?
It's somewhere between 65 and 70, but he is a wolf, so that 70 looks gigantic because it's a lot of fur.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, no,
I know.
he's awesome, dude. So, before we get into the crypto talk, I have told this story on my YouTube channel numerous times because it's hilarious, right? And now I have verification. So, when P was in Toronto at a Raptors game,
Yeah.
so the whole story goes, and I don't know how much of this story you've heard. So, P did not like Drake at all. Like, hated him, right? So,
I remember a little bit.
So, at that game, Drake was also courtside, but across the court from him. So P and Drake are kind of like looking at each other the whole time, right? And P said the first time he ever met Drake, that Drake bowed to him and called him the rap god. And then every time after that, he really never really even acknowledged his presence or existence, right? It's really weird. So P's like, yo, he's like, yo, I'm sitting courtside at the game, and I knew he was going to the game because they performed for some NBA player had booked them up there. Some Toronto player had booked them up there for something. So, the Raptors gave Hav and P tickets to the game, but Havoc didn't want to go, so P went with the security guard, right? So, I didn't know that Drake was at this game. I'm back in Queens, right? But I knew that P was at the game. And so I actually called Sparkle because I was like, yo, P's in Toronto for a couple of days. If he needs anything, just hold him down. She's like, of course. Are you kidding me? I'm just like, that's exactly why I called you. I said, yo, where's Leanna at right now? She's just like, she's working. I was like, where does she work at now? She's like, at the Raptors game, serving drinks to the VIP. I was like, no fucking way. I was like, there's no goddamn way. So I was like, yo, tell her to take P and J a couple drinks and don't tell him who it's from. So you did, right? And the whole time that he's getting drinks, P thought they were from Drake.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, so this is where it gets really funny. So by like the third set of drinks, I was just like, yo, now tell him it was from Joe the engineer. And you went and you did, right? And Pete called me immediately from the game, and he's just like, yo, you are the funniest motherfucking human being on the planet. I was just like, why, what happened? And he told me the whole story. I was just like, no fucking way, dude. He's just like, yo, how in the fuck am I in Toronto, and Drake can't even send me a drink at the game I'm at, and you can get me drinks courtside from fucking Queens? He's like, yo, I hate that motherfucker. And it was on from there. We hated him from that moment on with a pure intensity. And you played a huge role in that story, so you can confirm to everybody that, yes, that actually did indeed happen.
Yes, I did. Even the look, I can't remember his security guard's name.
Jay.
But even the look on their faces when I walked up courtside, they're like, so who's this from? And I was like, from Joe. Who? Joe the engineer. And then they're like, how the fuck did he do that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I just did it because I knew that you would, but I didn't know that Drake was there. It completely ignored P, and that P thought that they were from him. So that just made the story like legendary, and we had a pure hatred from that moment on.
I didn't know that beginning part. I wish I knew that a long time ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I would have known that he was there, then it would have been way more fun. We could have played with it way more. But I didn't know. I just wanted him to have some drinks. Like, yeah, take him some fucking drinks. This is awesome. So
I was just excited for the drinks.
Yeah, so I really appreciate your part in that whole story because that's definitely going in the book of my life because that shit is hilarious.
Great, thank you. It's
And
good to know.
and yo, fuck Drake. So let me ask you another Toronto-based thing before we get into some knowledge.
Hmm.
I just recently learned about this from somebody else in Toronto. So, continuing on the Drake thread. So, Drake was performing at Flash Factory in New York. And so we go because P was cool with the owner and we always went to Flash Factory. But it was just me and P. We didn't take like a whole big entourage of people and make a scene. We literally went in silently, just me and him. And we're standing behind Drake because he's standing on the DJ table performing. And that place was, you'd have thought the Beatles were there. There were girls passing out. It was fucking insane. I've never seen people react like that to an artist. But anyway, it's packed with celebrities like everywhere. Future, Fat Joe, like there was so many fucking rappers and basketball players there. It was insane. So he goes around and
Oh, man.
he acknowledges every single celebrity in the crowd at some point during the first couple songs. And what he doesn't realize is that P is literally 5 feet behind him, just standing there silently. Right? And this is after the whole drink thing. This is like where the hatred is festering. And then Drake's performing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just kind of stopped and he turned around and he looked and he goes, "Oh shit." He's like, "Legend. There's legend in the house." And then he kind of just went back to what he was doing. Right?
Oh.
So,
Oh.
so later after that, when he's done performing, we go and kind of make the rounds of meeting everybody in the room, right? And P and Drake go and they go to have a cordial conversation. You know, nothing beef related. I don't even think that Drake knows that P hates him at this point. And when Drake shook P's hand, P, this is how exactly how he put it when we were leaving. He was just like, "Yo, I think Drake was trying to thumb wrestle me, yo." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's just like, "Yo, when he shook my hand, he tried to like put his thumb on top of my hand, really, like on top of my thumb." I was just like, "Yo, son, Drake was trying to initiate your thumb into the Illuminati." I'm like, "They can't get you, all of you, they're going to start with one finger at a time." And that was a running joke forever. So later on, this is literally like a few months ago, talking to somebody from Toronto. Apparently, that's how people shake hands up there. Is that a thing?
So I'm trying to picture how he did it because there is a thumb aspect, I guess, to it. Yes.
So, yeah, so I had no idea what was going on, and like we had this, it was a running joke forever, for years, that Drake was trying to thumb wrestle P, and then we finally found out that that's like a thing. So yeah, I just needed verification that there's like a thumb thing that the people in Toronto do with their fucking handshakes. It's really weird.
Yeah, it sounds funny when you say it, but when it's just like muscle memory and everybody's hands like just tailing each other up, then I guess there is a thumb aspect in it.
She said
It's hard to.
a thumb aspect is a very judicial way to put that. I look at it as some weirdo shit because Drake's a fucking weirdo. So
Well, you just have to hang out with me more. I wasn't in New York enough to teach you all of our ways, and you haven't come to visit.
yeah, the only thing that I did learn from you guys is that whole rolling a blunt inside out thing. That's definitely a Toronto. I've never seen anybody do that but you guys. So, are we there? Are we here? Are we zooming still? I hear silence.
But I guess there is.
There.
Sorry?
No. I just you were muted for a while. I didn't hear you. Yeah, the whole rolling the blunt inside out thing. That's you guys. I've never seen anybody do that but you.
Yeah, but you guys even roll funny because we roll like cones, and you roll straight.
Yeah.
Right? So we roll cones. Yeah, definitely a difference in the rolling technique.
Yeah, so as I'm rolling this blunt, welcome to the Crypto Cowboys, I guess. That's what we've been doing this. Me and my friends have been doing this for a while now, and it's fucking awesome.
Nice.
It's
I'm excited. I want to get into it.
all right. So, what do you know? So I don't repeat. So I don't.
Okay. Honestly, you could start from the beginning with me, but I really don't know much. I think that you're gonna dissect it for me
All right.
better than anybody I did.
All right. So what I have figured out is kind of a way to explain it. So that's the my angle on it is when I talk to people about this, I kind of figured out a way to make it make sense because I had to find a way. The whole journey in the beginning with me and my hesitance into getting behind it is I didn't understand where the value was at. Like, why is this valuable? This computer code,
Yeah.
why is there value in it? So, Bitcoin being the first one, right? Bitcoin is what they call a ledger blockchain. So a blockchain is the string of computers or graphic cards or whatever that are doing all the calculations. So,
Okay.
so say there's, you know, 1,000 computers in this blockchain, right?
Yeah.
At every single point along the blockchain, every single thing that's done is put into a ledger. So in order for that to be hacked, you would have to hack every single point and change that same point on every point in the blockchain. And that could be a billion points. Who knows how long the chain is, right? That makes it absolutely impossible to hack until the next level of computers comes out. But by that time, you know, the blockchains will move on to the next level of technology. So you don't even have to worry about that. It's unhackable. All right, so what a ledger blockchain is. So say you want to pay me to mix a record for you. And I tell you, you know, pay me. So if you choose to pay me in PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, bank transfer, whatever, there is a middleman, a service, a computer, or whatever that verifies on both points of that the sale and transaction are both completed. And then that is where the financial institutions get their verification from that it happened, and then they can put it in their ledger, right?
Yeah.
What the blockchain does is it replaces that middleman, and it spreads that verification on every single point of the chain. So if it's off on one, it's already still verified on the other however many points along the chain. So it's an easy way to track all information, all of it, no matter what you're doing. So what Bitcoin does and where the value in it is it has become the middleman in these financial transactions. So that point of verification, instead of you having to pay PayPal $5 for a $500 transaction or whatever it is, on the blockchain that would probably be like 10 cents or probably less than that. So it is a blockchain, it is a ledger blockchain. So it is just literally a list of it. When it's mining, it is the calculations that it is doing is the verification across its blockchain that this transaction did occur, and then putting that verification across all points in the blockchain. It's really genius.
Okay.
It's really fucking genius what they've done.
But we don't have to like know the ins and outs of that part,
No.
because it's automatic and it's just being taken care of. The blockchain takes care of itself, and basically we got rid of all the bankers.
Yeah, I mean, it's all it's doing is functioning as the financial middleman. So there's someone who moved, it was like a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin from their wallet, which is just basically a hard drive where you store it. And they moved it on to an exchange so that they could start selling it or whatever. It was $1 billion, over $1 billion in this transaction, and it cost them, I think it was $40 to make that happen. And it was done in, I think it was 20 minutes. It took to verify that across the chain they were using.
Wow.
Do you know how long it would take you to move a couple $1 billion in the real financial world, and then how much it would cost you?
A long time and a whole lot of interest for no reason.
You got to get lawyers involved. There's like accountants, dude. It's just so much. And it was done for like $40 and within 20 minutes and verified across every single point in that Bitcoin. So once a blockchain has completed all of its calculations, then a Bitcoin is minted and released. And then that's where all the value is stored at in it, is it's all this middleman calculations and whatnot is done. So that's Bitcoin, and that's the ledger, and that's where the value is stored at. And once I learned that, I was just like, okay, let me buy some of that because it's only going to keep going up, because within Bitcoin is a programmed limit. Once they have done mining or doing all the calculations and there are no more Bitcoins to mint, the cap is 22.1 million. So the programmed scarcity increases the value of it. You have to think of Bitcoin as digital gold. That's exactly what it's become. That's now an asset that it is used as. It's used to hedge against inflation, because every time inflation happens or the stock market tanks, or, you know, say in America they put out another $2 trillion stimulus package, well, inflation occurs and the dollar power and value goes down and Bitcoin just goes up, because there is no inflation. It's impossible for it to be inflated because there's only 22.1 million ever. So for Bitcoin, you, especially since it's now $55,000 to $60,000, you literally just have to look at it as digital gold. And if you think of it as that, then you'll understand it, because that's all it's become at this point. That's why like multinational companies are buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin at a time. They're moving their capital away from dollars and whatnot and moving it into Bitcoin, because it's way more stable, especially in the world market that we're in right now, in the year of our Roni 2021. So they're all using it as inflation hedgement, and it's smart of them. And what it does is every time they jump in, it takes the value and it just shoots up. So until there are no more Bitcoins, it's only going to keep going up. So people have this fear of missing out. Oh, it's too expensive. I should have got in at 8,000. I should have got in at 20. There is none of that. Knowing that there is a limit, it's called get as many as you can. Satoshis. You have to think of a Satoshi as like a penny. So 100 pennies in a dollar, there's 100 million Satoshis to make one Bitcoin. So when you mine them, you're getting Satoshis per hour or second or whatever it is. So the whole game right now is just to acquire as many Satoshis as you possibly can and just sit on them. A good investment strategy in the beginning is you can buy Bitcoin on Cash App and PayPal. And the strategy I heard in the beginning is if you don't have investment capital, but if you do have $5, then you just buy $5. Because that $5 will essentially turn into 10, 15, 20, whatever, because Bitcoin just is going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
So you can do that and just keep doing that, just little tiny increments, because you have to start somewhere. You can't sit there and think, well, I don't have $10,000, I don't have $60,000. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, it's just starting. I get it.
So what like programs, or where do you start with Bitcoin and stuff? Because I see like Simple. I see a bunch. Well, sorry, that's stocks. But there's some ones that are for stocks, some ones that are for this, and then like I started Pi, which is its own. Well, Pi is a blockchain technology that's being developed. So in its developmental stages, what is where they're at. they allow, if you join in, they allow you to mine. So when you join in with your phone or whatever, or your computer, you're turning that, its processing power, its graphics processing power, whatever, you're allowing that app to use part of that to do their calculations. So you're mining. And the reward for mining, that's why they call it mining, the reward is the gold that it comes out of it, the coins or whatever. And so as it's mining, you just keep getting more. Now, I got introduced to Pi whenever you would mine it, you would get a whole coin at a time. Now you see it's been down to fractions in the thousands, which is a good thing. So that means it continues to grow and grow and grow. So it's good to get in on something like this in its development because it's free. And once they get their blockchain, their technology really completed and can start doing whatever it is that their chain is supposed to do technically, and they can start doing that, then and it will start gaining real world fiscal value by completing its task that it's been programmed to do. And then say you've got 1,000 of those coins that you got for free, and it starts out at a penny, but as it keeps growing and completing these calculations and gaining value and technical abilities, then those coins that you had that were worth a penny, say now they jump up to 5 cents. Well, now you see how it works. So it's good to get on these initial things. If you have, what are you on? Are you on an Android, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
All right, so I will send you referral links to your email. There's like 20 apps that I have on my phone that pay you in Bitcoin to use them.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, and you can just get started with that. Like, one of them is an internet browser called CryptoTab. You literally just use it and they pay you in Bitcoin, because if you're using it, you're allowing the blockchain to use your browser to mine.
So instead of Chrome kind of thing.
Yeah, so, and the way that technology is set up is they're not using computers that are dedicated mining rigs. They're using a little tiny piece of everybody's browser capabilities across the whole thing that's entered to do it. So just from using that from the entire calendar year of 2020, I got $146 in Bitcoin.
What?
And yeah, you don't have to click any ads. You don't have to do anything. It's just you're allowing it to use a little bit of your computer's processing to complete the calculations. And this is how you can get started. It doesn't necessarily take capital. Sometimes it just takes some time. And it's funny because I have a lot of them that are games. If you already play games on your phone, they have versions of the same fucking shit that will pay you in Bitcoin.
See, some of those I don't know if it's true or not.
All the ones
'Cause I've seen.
All the ones that I'm going to send you have been verified by me, because I've gone through the painstaking task of playing the games and reaching the point in which you're able to withdraw and seeing if they actually pay out or not. I've already been through it.
Yeah.
Well, because when I started doing this, I didn't have any expendable income in that moment in time when I started getting in. So it was just like, well, let's see what I can get for free. And I just started, because they do this. There's so many apps. So I'll just send you referral links to all of them and not explain any of them, because you'll get it. There's ones that you just let them run, and it counts your steps and it pays you and how many steps you take, because the whole time it's using your phone to geo map as you go along. Like, there's so many of them. So if you're already using apps that do these, you might as well get paid for it. So the next lesson that I can give you is that the other coins, the other blockchains, and what they do. Bitcoin is a ledger blockchain. It's dedicated to financial transactions and verification points, right? We get that. The other ones, they all have their own tech now. And that's where you learn where to invest at, is if you understand what the technology is supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So The two that are cheap now that I've been telling everybody who watches anything that I do about. One of them is called VeChain, and the technology behind it is RFID tracking of products. So the whole premise of it is every single product that you create is verified that it exists in its verification is in that blockchain. So there's zero product loss.
Yeah.
So you can track it from creation to sale. And it's verified across all of it, so you don't lose any product. Well, that only fucking makes sense. Of course that one's going to be big, and it's been growing. Because I've been watching this one for about a year and a half, and it continues to grow. So I'm just like, yeah, invest in that one. It's cheap. I think it's still like 5 or 6 cents right now. But I've watched it grow from a 0.0000001 financial amount to like 5 cents. So it's going to continue to go because the technology makes sense. What manufacturer and what manufacturer that exists doesn't want to have zero loss?
Everyone does.
Everybody does, and you have to think they can also do that with produce. So farms will be able to track everything from farm to table, basically, almost. Because the weed industry is doing that. I see D. Barry just told me a VeChain just hit 8 cents. Look at that. Its growth has been exponential. So I'm telling everybody, get on it. People, get on it. It's only going to continue to grow. The weed industry is doing that because they have a big problem with tracking all of their product from the growing point. So there's a lot of black market dealing still going on in the weed, even in the legal weed industry. So they're adopting, there's a couple different ones, but they're really big on the need for product tracking. And that's where VeChain's technology comes in. And that's why I'm just like, yo, people, get on this one. This one makes sense. The world needs it. So the necessity creates it. So invest in that one. The other one that I'm really big on, and I keep telling everybody, is ontology with a T. It's blockchain technology is medical coding and billing. That's like $1 billion industry that wastes so much goddamn time with paperwork and filing and like so much. So if you can streamline an industry that wastes time and money, of course it's going to be huge. And my family, my brother works in surgery, and I hear him bitch about doing all the paperwork that they have to do and all this stuff constantly all the time. Well, we know that in a blockchain technology that every piece of information is verified at every point along the chain, correct? So that means that there would be no medical information lost because it's all verified on the chain, and it's easy to recall it along the chain to go find that information. And whenever you recall that information, you can guarantee that it is authentic and real because it's been verified upon along every point in the chain. I'm just like, well, Jesus fucking Christ, that makes sense. That's going to completely streamline an entire industry. Invest in that one. So that one, when I started watching it, when they first started to build it, was another one that was like worth like 1,000th of a penny. And now, dude, that one's like $1 and some change. Because it just makes sense. An industry that needs streamlining, which industry on the planet doesn't want to save money? All of them do. Time and money. So if that's what the blockchain does, duh. Like, so now.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know it does all this. I'm just hearing currency. I'm not hearing that it actually does something.
Well, that's the thing, is there's so many coins and blockchains now, and they're all being developed to do different tasks, because once people figure out that it's impossible to hack and that all the information is verified a million fucking times along the chain and can be recalled with 100% accuracy, now you're talking of a whole new kind of computing So of course it's going to take over, and it is taking over. So if you only see what the media tells you about, or the financial aspect of it, that people are investing in it, you need to dig deeper and see what the new stuff coming out. Because at one point, Bitcoin was only worth a penny, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, and look where it's at now, $60,000. So that makes you want to think of, let me go find other ones that are starting out, because maybe I don't have $60,000, but what I do is have $100. Let me go find one that I understand is technology, see the need for it, and that it is going to take off, and put my $100 into that, because that $100 will get you like 1,000,000 fucking coins. So imagine, if you put $100 into Bitcoin when it first came out, and they gave you like 1,000,000 fucking Bitcoins. Look at today, what you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah.
So that's the whole game in 2021 for me, is trying to find new ones and learning about them and understanding it, and then just putting a little bit of money into it and just letting it ride. Because you know what? If that tech crashes and collapses, what's $100 bet anyway? Because if you've been investing and learning, then you're not going to lose, Leanne. And I don't know anybody who's lost that I teach about this stuff, that I put onto crypto. They all, it will grow.
Yeah, and it is a waiting game at the beginning, at least.
All right, so if you want to be a day trader, the only thing that you have to learn, and this is where the financial aspect of Bitcoin comes in. So it's all physics and math. And once I figured out that it is all physics and it will behave as such, it's really easy. So there's something called resistance points on the financial side of crypto. And say it's Bitcoin we're talking about, and $50,000 would be a resistance point. And the value, since so many people are trading it daily like it's a stock, the value will always climb, and it'll like hit like 49,000 and something, and it just won't cross 50. And that's the resistance point. And if you understand that it doesn't cross 50 and it kind of goes sideways, it's going to go right back down, because it has not crossed the resistance point. So if you understand that and you want to buy low and sell high, then the next time that it goes down and it comes back up around 49, 9, whatever, it's not going to hit 50, then you sell at this point, and it dips down, which is immediately going to, because it's going to bounce along these resistance points. The bottom resistance point would be the opposite. It's probably going to be 49,000, and it's not going to cross below that. And the reason that it doesn't is because most of this shit is done automatically. People are setting up auto trades. So people are going to set their stock of whatever coin it is, say it's Bitcoin, to auto sell at 50,000, even if who knows what they bought it at. And it never reaches that resistance point, and it goes back down. It's going to keep doing that until it crosses 50,000. The second it crosses 50,000, everybody who set theirs to auto sell at 50, it auto sells. And the supply goes up. So it's immediately going to dip back down. Like, it is instantly going to dip back down, because the supply level went up, because people who were holding on to theirs just released theirs out to be traded now. So, and then it's going to go down because the supply level went up. And it's the second it goes down, you got all these people who set theirs to auto buy when it hits this level, and then they auto buy at the dip. And then it just immediately goes back up, and it crosses right past 50 and moves on to the next resistance point where the auto sells are set up. And that's usually at whole numbers. So if it's at 50,000, it'll be 50,500, but might be the next one where people set it up to auto sell. And you have to think, these are people who hold like thousands of Bitcoins doing this. It's not somebody who has one who's just like, I'm going to set mine to sell at 51,500. It's like huge companies that are daily trading this because it has become digital gold. Does all of this make sense now? Does any of it make sense?
Yeah, it really does. Especially the auto sell part, because it's like they're not really watching it.
So if you understand that that's what's happening, then you know when to buy and sell at. And if you understand that, say you buy $200 worth of Bitcoin and you bought it at the low point, and you know the next resistance point where it's at, so when it crosses that 50 and you hit sell immediately, you know it's going to dip down. And then you wait till the bottom, and when you see the bottom resistance point coming, you know what it is. And you hit buy at that. That $200, say it bought you 100, or say it bought you 200 Satoshis. We'll make the math easy. What that $200 now, when you just sold high and bought low, that $200 has now bought you 240 or 250 Satoshis. And that's called leveraging yourself up. So you can essentially, if you know how to ride the resistance points correctly, you can take $200 and turn it into $20,000 over time, just by flipping it at high and lows. If you understand where the resistance points, support levels are at, because the support levels is going to start moving sideways. So it's really not that hard. Honestly, it's maybe my brain just understood it, but once I kind of was just like, that's how it works? Really? And it just kind of makes...
Yeah, I know you're differently too, but it does sound not as hard as I thought it would.
No, it's not. So the other Ethereum is the other big popular blockchain that's been around. So you have to think of Bitcoin as Macs and Ethereum as PCs, because Bitcoin is only Bitcoin. It's only a ledger blockchain. What Ethereum is more like an open software, an open-ended blockchain, and you can use Ethereum's blockchain points of verification and the code that they've written and their technology that they're using. You can use it to create your own, what they would call a token. So it's like your own coin, but you didn't have to build the blockchain. You didn't have to build it from the start or anything. You're using Ethereum's tech. So it's like a PC, or it's like an Android versus iPhone. That's an even better comparison because everybody uses phones. So iPhone is just iPhone, right? Apple is the only one that has that operating system. Android is on every fucking phone company that exists except Apple's, right? Yeah. That's basically what Ethereum is. Ethereum's like the Android operating system. And you as a tech company or whatever can use that operating system and build your blockchain and whatnot off of it. So that's why Ethereum is going to continue to gain in value and shoot through on the long haul as a great investment, because more and more companies and techs and whatnot are using that one. So as an investment goes, I learned about a token that uses the Ethereum blockchain called Chainlink from my old roommate. And when he told me about it, it was like 80 cents. We were watching it and we got so excited when it hit like $1 or something. And that was less than 2 years ago. So Chainlink, their technology that they're using is used by Oracle. So Oracle is in every business computer on the planet. Oracle software is used for their accounting or whatever. So when Oracle built their Chainlink tech and started using it, they went from 84 cents to it's been over $40 already. So if you want to look long-term investment, my roommate paid me he owed me $100, and he asked me if I wanted crypto or money, and I never had crypto at the point, but I was still learning, and I was just like, I want crypto. So he gave me 100 Chainlink tokens. Well, when it made it up to $4, I ended up selling those because I was hyped. The $100 he owed me had turned into $400, and I bought my first Bitcoin with that. Well,
Nice.
I had gotten back into Chainlink. Long story short, Chainlink, I don't have 100 of them. I was able to leverage myself back up to, we'll just say 50. The math is easy. I have a little over 50, but say I have 50 now. That would have been $50 that he paid me originally, right? In a year and a half, that 50 is worth somewhere between 17 and 1800. So this is why people are investing in crypto, because A, they understand that the technology, the value will continue to grow because the technology becomes viable and usable. And B, your percentage of return, if you educate yourself and invest properly, is infinitely higher than allowing your money to sit in a bank. Infinitely higher. Look at $200 and in a year of sitting in a bank. What are you going to get? 20 cents? $1 maybe?
Not even.
You're not going to even get $1, and they'll probably take that in banking fees. So you're absolutely going to get nothing. But if you invest in the right crypto, because you have educated yourself on it and its capabilities and whatnot, that $200 might turn into fucking $20,000. Because I've seen it happen. Literally seen it happen. Trust me.
Wow.
It happens. So
I believe.
The other good thing you have to think about is, the good thing about crypto to me is you can go on any of their websites or on your phone if you get Coinbase, which is the first buying and trading app that you should use.
I think I did download that.
Yeah, definitely use that one to begin with. But in each of the coins that's on Coinbase, you can go and click on them and go to their website or their white sheet, which is basically their mission statement. And you can read all about it and learn about it right there on the spot on your own. You know, you don't have to like know a broker, like it's not stocks or anything like that, because I'm completely out of that realm, but I'm all in on crypto.
Sounds like you should be one of the brokers.
Well, I mean, I just educated myself because I was just like, yo, you can. I knew that when Bitcoin first came out, I was sitting in the studio with P, and I looked at him and I said, yo, we should put money into this digital money thing. It just makes sense because I understand the safest thing to invest in is convenience. So look at all the companies that have gotten huge: PayPal, Uber, Lyft. You know, these types of things that are convenience boosters for humanity. If it streamlines things, it makes it easier and cheaper, then it's going to blow up. It's going to be huge. So taking that approach to watching which stocks blow up and not really being in that game, I took that same approach to the crypto world, and it's the same thing. You can see which technologies make sense. Well, fuck yeah, this makes sense. Go read about it. What are they trying to accomplish with this? So you have Pi. You're already mining Pi. You can go and learn about Pi, their mission statement, everything right through the app. You can read all about it, and you'll see it. And I just saw like their text mission is to be able to, you know, make financial and data transfers across different blockchain technologies, and that's a thing that's going to be needed. Can you also verify across different blockchains instead of just along this chain? And I'm like, all right, that fucking makes sense. That's going to be needed. So yeah, hell, all I got to do is hit one button every single day and it just does it for free. Hell yeah, I'm all in. So you could do it.
That's what got me on it. Well,
you could do it. I will email you.
I believe it.
I'll email you all these links and whatnot, and you'll be able to just start going for free. So the other advice I'll give you is within Coinbase, since you are new, they have a program called Learn and Earn. And you'll see it. You just scroll down, and it'll be this big purple box, like this big tab, and there are a list of coins that will pay you in that coin to learn about them. Like literally, they have a video tutorial, and then there are questions at the end. And if you get the questions right, they give you their native coins for free. And at one point, a couple months ago, it was $130 in free crypto that you could get during that week. All those coins were offering. And A, it's free crypto. But B, they also individually teach you within its little videos exactly what the technology behind the coin is. And that's actually where I started to learn what all these technologies are, that there are different ones. I didn't do this on purposely, and I was looking for free crypto. I wanted free shit, and it said learn and earn. I think the first one was $50, and I forget which coin it was, but it was $50 in that coin, and I just thought to myself, I'm going to get 50 in that coin and instantly exchange that for $50 worth of Bitcoin, which I did. But within those videos of having to watch them and knowing, well, I got to answer the questions in order to get the fucking free coins, it forced me to learn about this coin. And when I did, that's the moment where I was just like, well, they're all different then. And it was just like, all right, now I'm starting to understand this, and I've been off and running ever since then. So definitely utilize Coinbase's Learn and Earn. A, it gives you free crypto, but you're going to learn a ton.
Yeah. No, I'm going to. I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah, so that's why I do this. This is why I try to put everybody on, because that's how I got started. And I've been off and running ever since then. So it's just like you can learn and start for free. It's not about having investment capital. You can literally start for free. So why not?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy I got to start with a little bit of pie. Just a little bit. But now I know the Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, but the other ones. Ethereum.
Well, I'll send you a list of things to look into, but there's a ton of them. There's so many, but you just have to. I've set up all information flows with the people that I have already been learning and growing with, so we exchange information. But there are certain news feeds that I have that people have been right. You'll learn some of these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and there is a way to verify it. Let me see what you've started with and what you've turned it into, so
yeah.
And you'll start to see people that really know what they're talking about. And the education is out there. It's free. It's literally there. These people are talking about it. You could go and learn about it for free. It's not the stock exchange. You don't have to be part of a club, even though you can buy stocks now on your own. But for the longest time, you had to be in that club, or you had to pay somebody to do it for you, and you might be giving them money just to make the decisions for you. Well, you get to make all these decisions. This is all on your own.
Yeah. I think, you know what, a few years ago, I had a friend who bought something to be able to mine, but he just needed electricity. I think up a lot of electricity or something like that, and it was supposed to mine. Well, actually, I don't think it was Bitcoin. I think it was something else.
Yeah, you could buy. So the mining rig is comprised of a graphics card that does all of the processing, and just a chip, basically, that does. The chip is going to determine which algorithm that you're using to mine, and whichever algorithm you're using is going to pay you in Ethereum, Litecoin, whichever one that chip is set to pay you in. That's the math equations. You just have to think of it as like a math nerd. It's a little math nerd that's just sitting there doing equations, and every time you get one done, here's another Litecoin or a piece of a Litecoin, And that's all it really is like a calculator. It's just a super, super high powerful calculator that is working on a decentralized network. And what that means is there is no central control at all. Nobody controls the blockchain. It controls itself. The points of verification control itself. There is no centralization, so nobody can manipulate it in any way. So that's why it's so technically difficult. But yes, you can get mining rigs, and you can mine. But
I just think that kind of intimidated me maybe a few years ago, because I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to go and pay extra electricity to start mining something. But then hearing this now, and like now they have new technology like that Pi app versus doing that.
You could mine on your phone. You can use your computer to mine. You can dedicate its processing power to the blockchain if you want. Or what you can do, and what some people have been doing, and I think is pure fucking genius, is the energy that is required to mine is a lot. But the output is a lot too. That shit gets really fucking hot. Like significantly hot. So what people have been doing is taking that heat and using it. So they're channeling off all the heat into, and they're like using it to like heat their homes and whatnot.
Oh.
It's
cool.
It's fucking genius, right?
Yeah.
So you, as a grower, I see you growing. I see I see your garden and whatnot. I see what you're doing up there. I pay attention to everybody.
Yeah.
You might not know I'm paying attention, but I check in on everybody because social media is a great way to see where people are at. But anyway, you can think of, well, maybe during the winter, greenhouse. Well, here's your heaters for the greenhouse. Mining rig.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, see, this is, if the heat is going to be created, then utilize it. You're already paying for the energy for the output of whatever you're mining, so you can get the coins. And then this heat,
That just like, sorry.
yeah, now this heat is just being, pushed out into the atmosphere for nothing. You're trying to cool everything. Well, why not be smart and utilize it? It's like geothermal almost. It's just cryptothermal, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's like people putting their heating pipes underneath their floors and having heated floors at the same time.
Exactly.
That's what it's reminding me of. I'm like, wait, how can I have heated floors with crypto? No, but it probably wouldn't work.
No, but I think, like a greenhouse and whatnot, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Or something. There are literally people using it to like heat their room, whatever room it is, or their basement or whatever. They're utilizing the heat now. So that's just.
Wait, does it off radiation though?
No. It's just good. It's just graphics cards. You look at a mining rig and it'll be like 8, 16, 24, 100, whatever graphics cards, all in their own little chassis with a dedicated chip to each one, and then wires daisy chaining them all together. And it's just a whole bunch of graphics cards. So you have to think like whatever it is that's causing heat within the computer you use every single day, put 24 of those in one rig. That's a lot of heat pumping out. A lot. Because my one computer alone keeps my studio warm. So imagine like 24 of them in here pumping at once. It's going to get really fucking hot. And that's why you see them,
Yeah.
they're open-ended. There's no casing or housing over them because you don't want to keep that heat in there, right? So what they're doing now is figuring out a way to utilize that heat, and that's fucking genius. Hey, you got to heat your house some way. Why not get paid in Bitcoin to do it?
I know. Now see the greenhouse, I might have free electricity over there. So that could work.
Even better.
Like at a city spot. So we have like fridges and everything. We actually just got another generator. And is it a generator, or we got some kind of extra outlet put in that can take the weight of everything right now.
There you go. So it will be difficult to purchase mining rigs because they are selling like hotcakes right now. Because everybody who was stuck inside in 2020 saw Bitcoin on March 1st go to $3,800 because the world got shut down. and within 1 year go from 3,800 and cross $50,000. And everybody was just like, well, mate, what? I could have bought one at 3,800, and everyone's like, ah, fuck, and they saw it happen, and that's why it's exploding among the human population, because everyone was stuck inside for a year, and everyone had time to be like, oh, wait a minute, so many people talk about it, you can go figure it, or at least learn a little bit about it. And now it's being so widely accepted. They have fucking Bitcoin ATM machines. There's other ATM machines that have other coins. There's companies that are accepting payment in various cryptos now. It's like it's going to continue to be more and more widely accepted as each individual financial powerhouse, like the United States, Canada, will have their own native crypto, digital dollar or whatever, digital coin. Germany, Europe, China, Russia, everyone's already working on their own digital currency, their own digital version of what Bitcoin has become.
I don't know what Canada's is gonna look like.
I mean, who knows? But all you have to look at is like, I look at it as like, okay, these countries are a few years behind. Like all this crypto, all these blockchain technologies, and all these companies they've been growing and building and advancing. So the key is to get on board to something and build your portfolio before all of these digital currencies become the normal. Because what these countries are going to do, you won't be able to get rid of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because of the technologies behind them. But those are going to become regulated somehow. They'll find a way to try to regulate the whole industry and make it look like they're stocks and derivatives and whatnot, so that they can put the value back into their currency that they control and whatnot. So that's a long time from now. So, but it's just important to like get in. If you want to get in, now's a good time.
Yeah.
You're not too.
As soon as you send me an email, I'm gonna be doing some homework.
Yeah, you're not too late, man. Nobody's ever too late. We're still, if you look at the bell curve of adoption, you know, everything acts on a bell curve, right? So the early adoption was everybody who started mining 10 years ago and doing all that in the beginning, and now we're kind of here almost. We're like here. We're still on the way up. It has not reached the peak at all yet. So you can't look at it like you can't get in the game or you're too late. It's still going up, and it's going to continue to go up for a while.
I'm glad I'm getting into it now. Well, it's better late than never, to be honest.
So
I think we still do have a lot of time, but
the last lesson that I will give you is to be successful at this, you have to only be looking forward. So you can't ever look at, well, Bitcoin was $3,800 on March 1st last year, and now it's $60,000 fucking dollars. I missed out. Well, no, that $60,000 is going to turn into $100,000 by the end of the year. You didn't miss out. You missed out then. So you can't keep looking back, because you'll never take the step forward.
okay.
If you keep looking back and think of, oh, I missed out, then you're going to keep missing out. The point is to understand where things are headed, which trends are going, and what the long-term projections on things are, and then you don't miss out. You can't look backwards. You'll never be able to go forward. So
I know.
Don't think.
No, that's a really good tip, because that's what usually intimidates everybody. So I have to ignore that little voice in my head.
All right. So the lesson that will drive that home, I had leveraged myself up to it was 40% of a Bitcoin. And this is when it was at 22,000 or whatever. And at that time I was leveraging up and down, you know, sell high, buy the dip, and just watching it bounce, right? And I thought that this resistance point was going to be 22.5, because it always is. And I leveraged out 100% of what I had at 22.5. And it never went back down. Ever.
Oh, man.
Well, On the third day of it never coming back down, it kind of was still going sideways. I decided to not look over my shoulder and just move forward, and I just cut my losses because I understand, though I lost some volume of a Bitcoin, the dollar value of what I was holding, I lost nothing. And so I jumped back in, and I had lost 10% of a Bitcoin with that stupidity. So my 40% turned into 30%. But at that moment, it was $25,000. It just kept going out. I missed off. I think it reached like 27 or 6 or 7 before I was like, fuck it, I'll just cut my losses and jump back in. Well, that 26 or 27 has doubled since then. So who cares about what I lost? Keep moving forward. I jump back in and cut my losses. Financially, still killing it.
Yeah, that's it.
I have other friends who also leveraged out at a bad position and never jumped back in because they were waiting for it to dip back down because they didn't want to lose anything. And now they don't have any Bitcoin. And the lesson is to be learned in that alone. Just keep moving forward. Sometimes you're going to lose. You have to look at the overall aspect.
Yeah.
Because I started with $200 and I just flipped it around a billion times and then got a bunch of crypto for free and exchanged those for Bitcoin and then added that into the total. And as the total kept growing, then Crypto Tab goes by and I, get $20 from that or something and put that into the pile. And the bigger the pile, if you want to leverage in and out, the more moves you can make, because every time you leverage out, your pile grows, your volume grows, and that's the whole point, is to grow the volume of your satoshis or pennies.
Yeah.
So you got to just keep moving forward, man. You can't look at what you lost. You have to look at the bigger picture. It is a bigger picture game.
I got it.
You have to think to yourself, if Bitcoin's going to go from 3,800 up to, it's going to hit 100,000 by the end of the year, probably more than that, to be honest with you. We're in fucking March and it's already past 60. So if it's going to hit 100,000, you would have to think to yourself, in the future it's going to go even higher. So your long-term thought process can be, well, maybe 5 years in the future Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million fucking dollars, which it completely could possibly be without any problems. And if it's $1 million and there's 100 million satoshis in a Bitcoin, that means that each satoshi will now be worth a penny. And if you have somehow able to get yourself 10% of a Bitcoin, you've got you got $100,000 out of that million.
Start now, start somewhere.
Yeah, so you just have to think about the long term. 10% is 1 million satoshis. You can get that. 10% right now, $6,000. Or you can invest in leverage. You got it. You can, and I'm an open book, homie. So any questions that you have along the way, I will just ask. If I know, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll point you somewhere that does.
Thank you. No, you're the go-to guy. I know for a lot of things you are. I know you're also a busy guy, so I don't want to bother you. But
it's all good, man. I get back to people eventually. I do smoke a lot of weed, so I do take a lot of blunt times to be like, all right, I got about 20 minutes for this blunt. Let me go.
I do the same thing, so I still do the same thing.
Yeah, just inside out. That shit's weird. So I'm glad you're doing well. Whatever it is you're doing with your daughter's hair, keep that up.
Oh, thanks.
And it was good. It's good talking to you. And I will email you at some point in time today with a whole bunch of links that will get you started along your journey. And any questions that you have, hit me. I got you.
I will. I'm gonna keep you updated on how it starts out.
Good. I had somebody who follows me on YouTube who has been listening to a couple things that I've said, has gone and educated themselves, And he hit me the other day. He's like, dude, I got like a portfolio now. He's like, I'm like building. I got coins and currencies and whatnot. And I'm like making money. I'm like, good. Fuck it. Good. You can do it. You can do this and free yourself from the shackles of, selling your time for a living wage.
I know. I'm okay with growing food though. That's it. That's knowledge I need.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's also very therapeutic. That having a garden is what got me through the summer of 2020. That's for sure.
Yeah. I had to increase it. Now my place is filled with plants.
Good.
So I'm excited.
Good. That's awesome. We must reconnect with nature, people. Even though I live in Brooklyn, it's a funny thing to say.
Well, I'm doing it at my place, in a con, and I'm making do.
Good.
Like they're all right next to the balcony door, and I spray them with love and I talk to them with love. And,
That's all it takes. And then also, you have to be able to just utilize the space that you have to maximize. It's all about efficiency and whatnot.
Exactly.
So, all right, I'm going to get off here and go hang out with the wolf because I'm sure he's just like, yo, what the fuck are you doing in there right now?
Yeah. All right.
So
have fun.
I will reach out to you via email very soon. I appreciate the time and joining me in the Dour Hour, and I hope you learned something and it was worth it. So everybody else, I'm going to finish this blunt and go hang out with the wolf. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys whenever I decide to do this again. So Leanna, thank you. I'll hit you soon.
All right. Peace out.
Yeah, I hope everybody learned something. That was a long one, but I had to verify the sending drinks to P in Toronto from Queens. I told you that I don't make these stories up, people. This shit really happened. And B, the weird thumb wrestling thing. That Drake tried to thumb wrestle P when they met. I told you that shit was weird. So anyway, thanks for coming through to the Dour Hour. I hope you guys learned something. I haven't been on here talking about crypto in a while, but get on your VeChain because the shit is taking off, and I knew it would. So RIPP 333. I'll see you guys probably later tonight.